Okay, hello there, Michael here. Today I'm going to talk a bit about how to do drag and drop on HTML. I'm going to check out the drag and drop HTML API. And let's see, I have it all set up here. So I'm basically going to go and make sort of a walkthrough of this exercise, example code, and I'm just going to show you the highlights of it. I also have some code back here, and this is, well, let's get back to that. I think we're just going to go through a few things here first. So the code we have here in this example is a it is a live example that we can use. So it shows how this sort of drag and drop action is going to look like in this case. So we can just review the final application and see that this is a div I have here, a div, and I can move it around. Oops, it had no background image, background color. Let's see. How can we look like here? Let's see. Wonder if I can change that to background color. Could I? That item there. Could we give it the background color, perhaps? Like a white background color? Yay! Now it looks much better. Good example. Oh, it looks nice. Okay, so I can move it around as you see. And it is this div ID item that also has this draggable true attribute set. And let's see how this sort of the code behind it. I'm just going to go down here. I'm just going to give you the highlights. So if you want to have this in a much slower sense, you should go back and read the example exercise here. So the first thing to set up here is to make an item to be draggable. And I have it here on back of me here. So this is a div and I'm setting it to be draggable true. And that is sort of the first part of making it draggable. Then I need to add a event listener to that also. And that event listener will look more or less like this. So I'm going to add it just here, just showing it off. Maybe I need to also have the const. It seems like I have const item area equals document dot query selector something. I did label it like ID or item, something like that, I think was the name of it. Okay, so get the particular div or element that we're working with and add an event listener, drag start on it. So that is the way that now this part of the web page can be moved around, or at least it can be dragged, so it's draggable at least. Okay, so I will just move further down here, and the next thing would be to create a droppable area. So the place where we can drop this needs to be sort of an defined as a droppable zone or droppable area. And in my example, I have decided that the whole main is a drop zone for this. So I can drag this, let's just remove that. I can drag this around, but when I try to drag it outside of the drop zone, you see I can't, I could put it there, but I can't go down here. No, can't go down there, can't go up there. And only drop it somewhere within this main area. Okay, good. And let's see how we create this sort of drop zone. So I'm just gonna move some of the code over so we can have it here also. So the drop zone, well, just pointing out what part of the web page is going to be the drop zone. And then I need to implement 2 event listeners to make this happen. And it is the event listener of of a drag over that I have here. I'm just gonna move my mic a bit closer like that. Thank you. And so first we have drag over, and that is what an event what happens when the draggable item is dragged over a drop zone area. So that is one. And I also need to do prevent default there. Otherwise, the drop event listener will not happen. Okay? And then I have sort of a drop, and that is when the mouse button is released on the drop zone. Then I will sort of get this event signaled. Okay, so this is the basic stuff to get started. Let's see what this exercise contains more. Okay, yeah. So if we are actually going to create sort of I can take this part of the code and I think I can drop it down here. You see it. Maybe if I do like this, you will see it a bit better. So the okay, we can have it up. We can have it up there if I just move up. Okay, excellent. So if we actually going to sort of drag an item or move an item like I'm doing here on this part of the page, then we have the item, we have the drop zone. And then we are actually going to, when we drop the item, we're going to move it. We can use absolute or relative positioning to move the item around. I'm using relative positioning in my example here, but it sort of really doesn't matter. It's just a matter of how we calculate the position of it. But the way to think here is to, when we do the drag start, so when on the event listener, didn't we have that up there? Yes, we have that. That was the small one. So now we have sort of added some code to this drag start. So we need to sort of prepare the item here. So I'm preparing it with the original position. There might be many ways to do this. I'm just going to show you one. So the way here is to actually do it like this. So there is a property here, data transfer, and this property is stored on the draggable element all through the drag until it's done. So I'm going to use the method setData, and it looks a bit different here. So it's going to be set like a MIME type, and then it's going to be set like a values. So I'm basically checking out, okay, what is the current position of this element now when I start to drag it? I create an object for it, and then I stringify it, so because I can only store strings here. And I say, then this is sort of JSON, so it's an application JSON type, so that is kind of the key for the data. So now I have prepared for being able to move this, okay? I have sort of saved the original position of it. Okay, let's see what happens then. Then we need to handle the drop. So I'm gonna move this also into my code here. Like this something, and I'm just gonna scroll up so you can see it also. So here you see an sort of some added code to the drop event handler. And the basic idea here is to use the data transfer and now get the data that is stored together with the application JSON MIME type. And then we're going to parse that to get back the native JavaScript object that contained the start details. Then I can see where did you sort of drop this, okay? And then it's just a matter of using the, so this is the item I'm moving. I'm just changing the style attribute of it left top for relative positioning like this. And I'm calculating where did I do the drop, where was the start, and then add pixels since it's CSS. And this is sort of how I move the element from one place to another. And that is basically that is how drag and drop works. Yeah, we can have some more issues on it. You can make it look a bit different. We can add some effects, have different pointers, create a different image. The image that is shown when we are dragging the object like this, we can show another image. So there are ways to sort of customize the behavior of the drag and drop operation. Okay, so I think this is all. We have a droppable item. We add some sort of drag start event listener to it, like we did up there. And then we have a drop zone, and we add a sort of a drop event listener to the drop zone. And then we hard work with some code, manage to carry out the actual move by just using some CSS. Okay, I think that is enough for this drag and drop. And check out the example exercise to dig in a bit more and make your own code workable out of it. Okay, thanks. Bye bye.